Hello students, welcome to CBSE NCERT Solutions by Vedantu. I hope I'm audible and visible. Please let me know if I'm audible and visible. So let me just check if we are live. After that I will be directly starting the class. Yes, I think we are live, right? Yes, just give me 1 minute. So today we are going to decode the chapter breathing and exchange of gases, which I think most of the students are very scared of human physiology, if I'm right. So yes, we are live. Okay, so students, I know most of you will be scared with the chapter human physiology as a whole. So today we are going to decode our first chapter, breathing and exchange. So those who are new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as mark your attendance, because this class will help you understand what is vital capacities and what is the significance. Okay, so first question, we will move on to the first question. Define vital capacities and what is its significance. What is its significance? Okay, what is vital capacity and what is its significance? This is the first thing. Okay, so look here, vital capacity is the maximum volume of air that can be exhaled after a maximum inspiration. That means normally when you do yoga, how do you do that? You take in as much as air possible and then you breathe out. So they're telling vital capacity is the maximum air that you can expel out, or you can exhale out after a maximum inspiration. It can go about 3.5 to 4.5 liters. Okay, around 3,500 to 4,500 liters is usually how much your vital capacity is going to be like. Okay, now what is the significance of having vital capacity, or why does our lungs even have this capacity? Remember, your vital capacity is using forced. It's normal, not like normal. Okay, now if I see tidal volume, it is normal. Right, tidal volume. It's normal, not like normal. Okay, volume is clear. I just was checking the volume as well. So here it is basically what it promotes, the act of supplying, okay, fresh air. Main thing is that obviously when you take in as much as air and you exhale out the air, again you do the same thing. So it promotes the act of supplying fresh air and getting rid of foul air, because when you're exhaling out, you're basically throwing out the unnecessary air. That's the reason why we tell we take in oxygen, right, and we give out carbon dioxide, right? We exhale out carbon dioxide. So that means what? We are giving out the foul, we are giving out the unnecessary air. Right, unnecessary air. I think students, this light is the problem. Just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, I'll just switch off this light. There's a glare, no? Not making a difference. Okay, there's a glare actually. I think it was the problem. Little more better, right? Little more better. Okay, so it promotes the act of supplying fresh air and getting rid of foul air, and thereby increasing the gaseous exchange between the tissues and the environment. So this actually helps in doing the whole job of supplying fresh air as well as releasing out or throwing out the foul air. Okay, throwing out the foul air. So this is usually what we do in yoga, right? We take in maximum air and we throw out the air. I hope this is very clear. It's a very direct question, so I hope it's clear. Moving on to the next question. Now, state the volume of air. Okay, state the volume of air remaining in the lungs after a normal breathing. So how much volume of air will be there if I do after a normal breathing? How much air will be there? So the total volume, the volume of air remaining in the lungs after a normal exhalation is called as functional residual capacity. Okay, the question was same thing, right? After normal breathing, okay, normal exhalation, how much air will be there? The volume of air remaining in the lungs after a normal exhalation will be called as this functional residual capacity, and for a normal person, this is going to be about 3,000. Okay, this is going to be about 3,000. Same way, you also have residual volume. If all of you remember, you also have residual volume. Residual volume is what? How much ever I expire. Okay, how much ever forced expiration I do. How much ever forced expiration I do, some amount of air is always going to be in my lungs. Ma'am, how is that possible? Why is that even there? Simple, students. imagine this is a balloon. Okay, now I remove all the air out of the balloon. Both the sides of the balloon are going to stick with each other. Yes or no? Right, think of balloon. I blow as much as possible, then I release all the air. They are going to stick to each other. So to avoid collapsing of my lungs, because my lungs or my alveoli is just going to behave like an air balloon. So to make sure that there is no collapsing, okay, to avoid collapsing of the lungs, we have something called as the residual volume. So do not get confused with functional residual volume and with residual volume. Okay, FRC and RV also is there. Okay, I hope it is clear. Right, all the residual volumes, all the capacities, you have to know the number. Okay, if you don't know the number, it is going to be little difficult. Now students, always remember what is FRV, ma'am. Same thing, no ma'am. Residual capacity, residual volume. Always remember your residual capacity. Capacity means always addition. Okay, capacity means always addition of two things. Okay, addition of two things. Now addition of what would have made the residual capacity? No, yes, addition of what would have made the residual capacity? Can you all think and tell me? Okay, addition of residual volume. Okay, addition. So FRC is going to be RV. Okay, RV plus ERV. ERV, that is expiratory reserve volume. So residual volume plus expiratory reserve volume is equal to FRV. That is, after a normal exhalation, how much air do I have inside is going to depict my FRC. Okay, and that is going to be around 3000 to 3500. Okay, 3000 to 3500, because it's around 1200. So you can calculate it. Okay, you can calculate it. FRC will be around it will go, this is around 1200. Okay, plus FRC is around 1000 to 1100. 1000 to 1100. So depending on that, you will know that it's around 2300 to 3000. Okay, 3000 liters. Yes, I hope the video was clear. Yes, okay, clear. Okay, yes. So moving on to the next question. I hope all of you are enjoying as well. Now, diffusion of gases occur in the alveolar region only and not in other parts of the respiratory system. Why? Exactly. Now you can ask this question, ma'am, why does gaseous exchange only happen particularly in the alveolar region, but it is not happening anywhere else? The question can't come. Simple reason, students. It is because this layer is called as the diffusion layer or the respiratory membrane layer, because this layer has adjusted or adapted to do the exchange. Right now, every layer of my body is not possible, or every fluid in my body is not possible to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide, right? Same way, this layer also has some specialities. Now, all of you look here, 3 layers are there. Okay, now all of you can see there is an alveolar wall. Okay, then there is a non-cellular part in the middle, that is called as the basement membrane. It is non-cellular. Okay, after the basement membrane, you can see the first layer of your capillaries. So endothelium, epithelium, okay, all this is there. So you can see alveolar layer. So the 3 layers constituting will be your alveolar walls. Then a non-cellular layer called the basement membrane. Okay, basement membrane. Then you will have the capillary layer, right? The blood capillary layer. So these people form your entire respiratory membrane. Why? Because they have the ability. Okay, they have the ability. Is it not visible, students? Red is not visible. Huh? I think I should use yellow itself. Yeah, I'll use yellow itself. Okay. 1 second. Yellow or white I'll be using. So first we have alveolar layer. Then we have a non-cellular layer called the basement membrane. Okay, basement membrane. Then we have our blood capillary layer. So these people are made for doing this. Okay, these people are made for doing the exchange. So that is the reason, and there are many other reasons, like it is very thin layer and other things. Let's see which other what is the answer for that as well. See, the alveolar region is the only part of the respiratory system where the gaseous exchange can occur. Okay, diffusion occurs because it has the characteristic needed for efficient gas exchange. Like what? First of all, there are thin membranes. Students, very simple. If I have to cross, right, if I have to cross, imagine the bridge is very, very, very narrow. Easier, I will jump. Imagine the bridge or that pit. Let's say the pit is very, very broader. I'll find it difficult to jump. No, then I need some stones. I need a bridge to do this. That I cannot do, right? I do not have the energy to do that. So if the pit is small, right, if the layer is very thin, it is easier for me to jump. Got it? So the alveoli are made up of thin layers of squamous epithelial cells. Okay, squamous epithelial cells. Squamous cells are always flattened cells. Squamous cells are always flattened cells. I hope all of you marked your attendance by smashing that like button. Okay, all of you mark your attendance, so this way I will get to know that you like the class. Okay, so students, first thing is this alveolar region, no, is very thin layer, and it has flattened cell helping in for diffusion. Now, moist. The respiratory surface needs to be moist. Yes, whenever an exchange is happening, whenever some transfer is happening, there need to be some kind of lubrication. So same thing, that moistness will be provided in this layer. Then permeable. Alveoli are highly permeable to respiratory gases, which you cannot see in any other places. Okay, permeability. Then the respiratory surface need to be large as well. Vascular, that is the alveoli are highly vascular, meaning they have blood capillaries. Blood capillaries are not there, then how oxygen and carbon dioxide will do the exchange? Yes or no? For oxygen and carbon dioxide to do the exchange, we need blood as the main transport organ, because blood is the one who is bringing everyone from everywhere and be like, okay, do one thing, you take in oxygen, you give out carbon dioxide, right? That kind of exchange also should be there. Okay, there's the diagram which I put here is an exact NCERT diagram, so you can look at the diagram. More explanation to this diagram is there, but you do not have to know lot about it as well. Okay, you just have to know about this 3 layers. Clear? Okay, I hope it's clear. Okay, chalo. Yes. Let's move to the next question. Yes or no? Okay, this is alveola. Alveola is the place where the exchange of gases will happen. Okay, exchange of gases will happen, and it has 3 layers. Your alveolar epithelium, yes, all of you. Okay, basement membrane, interstitial spaces are there, and then your capillary basement membrane is there. Okay, these 3 people will constitute this entire layer. And students, their respiratory membrane, no, the thickness should be less than 0.2 mm thickness. Okay, 0.2, and this all 3 layers are together called as the respiratory membrane. Okay, together called as the respiratory membrane. So this is the main reason why they are able to facilitate this kind of diffusion. Okay, now exchange of gas is different thing. Exchange of gas will happen because of difference in pressure gradient and concentration gradient, but you have to understand that the membrane that is facilitating this is because of these 3 layers. Okay, these 3 layers. I hope this question was clear. Moving on to the next question. Okay, what are the major transport mechanism for carbon dioxide? Now, the moment carbon dioxide comes, how is the division happening, or how they are separated? Very simple, students. Carbon dioxide separation happens in three ways. Okay, first one is in the form of dissolved plasma. First, in the form of dissolved plasma. This is the same thing in oxygen as well, but the percentages are different. Okay, dissolved plasma. Then hemoglobin will carry some and go, and the major chunk goes as bicarbonates. Okay, major chunk goes as bicarbonates. Ma'am, now can you tell us the percentage? Obviously, yes. Okay, now students, dissolved plasma. Okay, dissolved plasma is around 7% of carbon dioxide gets dissolved in the plasma. Okay, dissolved plasma. Then hemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin is going to carry, right, going to carry carbon dioxide. Just carbon dioxide plus HbCO2. Sorry, Hb will give you HbCO2. Okay, Hb will give you HbCO2. Yes or no? This is called as carbaminohemoglobin. Many students write it carboxyhemoglobin because carbon dioxide plus hemoglobin, carboxyhemoglobin. No, carbon monoxide plus hemoglobin is carboxyhemoglobin. Okay, clear? I think when I'm writing it white, it is clear, no? Yes. So it will form carbaminohemoglobin. 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 How much percent? 23%. 23 to 25%. If I want exact number, it is 23%. If I want to write the range, then it is 23 to 25%. Then, ma'am, bicarbonates. What is this bicarbonates? This bicarbonates is an entire process by itself. Okay, bicarbonate is an entire process by itself. That is many of the carbon dioxide. That is 70%, students. How much? 70%. Okay. 70% of the carbon dioxide will be stored as bicarbonates. That is with the help of water. Okay, H2O plus CO2 will form H2CO3. This process is actually a very slow process. Okay, this is actually a very slow process, but this process will be speeded up with an enzyme called as carbonic anhydrase. What will be called as carbonic anhydrase. This fellow will speed in the reaction of water combining with carbon dioxide and forming carbonic acid. Okay. Now, students, this carbonic acid will again get inside. Okay, and they will get split. Okay, they'll get split and they'll form HCO3 plus H plus. Now, what will happen? This H plus will combine. Okay, this H plus, let's take it here. It will combine with hemoglobin to form HHB, which is actually going to act like a buffer. What is it going to act like? A buffer. Buffer means what? Something that will maintain the pH. Always remember, pH has to be maintained in whatever in our body. Everywhere pH has to be maintained. So HHB will act as a buffer to maintain the pH. Okay, to maintain the pH. Now this HCO3 will go outside, combine with NaCl, okay, salt, and form NaHCO3. That is sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate. So this is the formation of how bicarbonate will be formed. Very simple. Water plus carbon dioxide will form carbonic acid. Again, they will split. That time also, students, carbonic anhydrase is going to help. Why? Because every reaction is actually a slow reaction, and you cannot wait for the entire reaction to happen. No, we do not have the time in our body because continuous exchange is happening. So this job will be done by carbonic anhydrase, or we write Ca. Okay, Ca. Is this clear? Okay, now I have kept a diagram to make you understand the same thing. So, look here, cell metabolism, carbon dioxide produced. That carbon dioxide will enter into the plasma. Okay, it will enter into the plasma from there, into the capillaries. From there, it will go and combine in the RBC. Okay, in the red blood cells, it will combine with H2. It will combine with H2O. This combination is a very slow process. So we have an enzyme called as carbonic anhydrase who is going to help us in this process. It will form carbonic acid, which is H2CO3. That will break down to form HCO3 plus H plus. This H plus will combine with hemoglobin and it will act like a buffer. Okay. Is there a voice? Combine with hemoglobin. Okay, it's fine. Right. It will form a buffer. Okay, it will form a buffer. Now this HCO3 will go outside. It will go into the plasma, right? It will go into the plasma, and in the plasma it will combine with NaCl, salt, no? It will combine with salt and it will form what? It will form NaHCO3. NaHCO3, which will be sodium bicarbonate. Now, at this point, students, what is going to happen? Since we took this HCO3 negative outside, we removed it from the our red blood cells, okay, from the RBC, I took HCO3 outside, HCO3 negative outside. So now what has happened? A deficiency has happened, or a shift of ionization has happened, right? Yes or no? Now imagine in your hand you have all the negatively charged some ions you have, okay, and there is positively charged ions. Now I remove all the negatively charged ions. Obviously you will have a difference in the ionization. Yes or no? Ion difference will happen. Now since I took all the negative, am I not supposed to give you something back? I am supposed to give you. If I took all the chocolates from your hand, I have to give you something in return. So I'll give you, let's say, some apples or something healthy I give you. Same way, the negatives which was there, no, HCO3, all the negatives I took from the RBC. Instead of that, I will give chloride back into the RBC to fix that ion shift. Okay. So because of this, there was a shift in the ionization, right? Shift in the ionization in the RBC. That ionization I fixed it by giving chloride. Okay, by giving I gave chlorine back to the RBC. This way, that difference in the ionization was changed, and this shift is called as chloride shift. Okay, this shift is called as chloride shift. Yes, got it? Okay. Now, Haldane effect, other terms are there. Now, students, imagine, now I want to release carbon dioxide. Okay, I want to exhale out carbon dioxide, and I know in my body a lot of carbon dioxide is there. Now, what am I going to do? Very simple. We are going to take this HCO3 back into the RBC, and we are going to give the chlorine back into the plasma. Saying that I don't want any more chlorine, I'm happy because HCO3 is coming back to me. That HCO3 will go and combine with the H plus by breaking that HHB complex, and it will form H2CO3. Okay, it will form H2CO3. That H2CO3 with the help of carbonic anhydrates itself will break down to CO2 plus H2. That CO2 will be taken back to the alveolar layer. So what you have to remember? You have to remember this is the same diagram that we studied now. This is the alveoli, this is the blood capillary, between basement membrane is there. Now, first when I did this way exchange happened. That is, from the alveoli, the carbon dioxide came inside and it became the that is bicarbonate. Okay. Now, I am talking about it going back to the alveoli. That is, from bicarbonate, it is going back to carbon dioxide. Okay, I'm breaking it down. Reverse reaction is happening. Okay, that time chloride shift will not happen. Why? Because chloride will be given back to the plasma and HCO3 will be taken back into the RBC. So the whole thing will become proper. So this is how carbon dioxide will be exhaled out. That means carbon dioxide transport will happen. 7% as will be dissolved in the plasma. Then most of it as hemoglobin. That is 23% as hemoglobin and around 70% as bicarbonate. So if you want to total it, you can see 7 plus 23 plus 90. How much, students? 23 plus 7, 30. Oh, sorry, 90, no, 70. 70 plus 70 will become 100%. So this is how the 100% transport of carbon dioxide happens. Okay. Now same thing in oxygen is going to be different. Okay. Dissolved plasma will be less. HB will be more. Okay. 97% HB. Dissolved plasma only 3%. No bicarbonate. Nothing like that. Formation. Nothing is there. So it's a different story. But here most important thing you have to know is about how bicarbonates are formed. How it is combining with water molecule. Who is the enzyme that is helping. How the breakdown is happening. How is the ionization shift happening. All this you have to keep in mind. Okay, chalo. This diagram, I hope it's clear. Next question. What will be the partial pressure of oxygen and partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the atmospheric air compared to those in the alveolar air? So what are they talking about? They're talking about atmospheric air. What will be the percentage, and in the alveolar air? Okay. Alveolar. So what will be the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmospheric air compared to those in the alveolar air? Now students, remember, in atmospheric air and alveolar air, in our alveoli, if we are planning to exhale it out, right? If you are planning to exhale it out, you should always remember that in your alveoli, carbon dioxide will be more, so that we have to give it outside. But if other ways, normally what will happen? Partial pressure of oxygen will be more and partial pressure of carbon dioxide will be less. Yes or no? Agreed, right? Normally, if I tell my body needs more oxygen, so obviously oxygen will be more, carbon dioxide will be less. But if I want to exhale it out, then the concentration difference will be there. But otherwise, usually what is going to happen? It is going to be PO2 higher and PCO2 lesser. Yes? Okay, clear. This is an MCQ question. Okay, next question. Explain the process of inspiration under normal condition. That is, if I want to take in air, what is the condition that I have to go through? Okay, now students, all of you can look here. Before you look into this box, let me give you an explanation. I want to take in air. Okay, so according to the condition, students, if I want to take in air, air will always move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. This all my students know. Yes ma'am, we know. Now, how do I maintain the higher concentration and lower concentration? That is, now let's see which is the location. See, I need air to come from my atmosphere to the lungs. Simple thing. I need air to move from the atmosphere to the lungs. Now, the problem is that I cannot manipulate the atmospheric pressure no matter what whoever big person I am, I cannot change the atmospheric pressure. The only thing that I can change is my IPP, or the intrapulmonary pressure. What can I change? Intrapulmonary pressure. Okay, IPP is intrapulmonary pressure. This is what I can change. Yes or no? Got it. Now, how much should the pressure be? I should remember that the air will move from a region of higher concentration to a lower concentration. So, keeping that in mind, my atmospheric pressure is going to be constant, that is 760 mmHg, and my lung pressure I am going to change it to 758 mmHg. That is, I am going to decrease it or make it negative, so that air will move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So normal first step I have done. By this method, air will enter inside. Now my second job is I need to make sure that my thoracic chamber, or my entire this area, is enlarged enough to take in maximum oxygen. Okay, for that I have to do is, there is something called as, all of you know, the thoracic chamber, right, where you have your vertebral column, ribs are there, diaphragm is there, all this is there. So now I have to make sure that this region gets a little more broader, so more oxygen can come in. So the first ever process is going to be that the diaphragm, okay, the diaphragm is going to contract. Diaphragm is going to contract. Now students, most of the students get confused here. Remember that this is your entire rib cage, where you have ventral side, you have your sternum. Okay, I'm trying to draw it with this pen, but I don't know how much it will come out properly. Okay, and this is your entire rib cage. Okay, this is the rib cage, back side is going and binding with the vertebral column. Okay, this is your entire rib cage. Okay, this is the entire rib cage. Now in below this, there is going to be a diaphragm which will contract and relax, so that more air comes in. Right, now when the diaphragm contracts, it gets flattened. When the diaphragm contracts, what happened? It gets flattened. Why? To make more space. Simple thing. Okay, when I'm doing inspiration, I have to make sure that my entire body comes down a little, so that more air can come in. But if I want to push it out, I'll bend like this. No, now imagine this is the diaphragm. If I want more air to come in, I will make it flattened, so more air will come in. Imagine I want to push the air out, I will become dome shaped and push the air out. Okay, so diaphragm will contract. With diaphragm, there are other muscles like external intercostal muscles. Okay, external intercostal muscles. This muscles will happen, what students? This muscles also will contract. So since this muscles also contract, and these muscles are present between these ribs, always remember that the ribs and the sternum, right? The ribs here, look here, this is the rib, this is the sternum. They will also raise a little. Okay, the ribs and the sternum, will raise. Because of this racing, what is going to happen? More space I am going to get. Yes or no? Agreed, all of you? More space I'm going to get. I hope it's clear to all of you. Okay, more space I'm going to get. So this space is provided for what? 1 second, students. Okay, the ribs and sternum will raise. This will increase the thoracic chamber space. Now students, remember, since here, okay, always remember that the pressure is inversely proportional to volume. That is, whenever the pressure decreases, okay, here the pressure has decreased, the volume will increase. That is, pressure has become 758. That means decrease has happened, right? Decrease has happened. That means volume will automatically increase. Volume of what? Volume of your thoracic chamber. Thoracic chamber is contributed by whom? Your sternum, ribs, a vertebral column, and your diaphragm. So this people will open a little or get a little more broader, so that the air can come in. So here what is going to happen? Automatically the thoracic volume will increase. Thoracic volume will increase, because since here pressure has decreased. This is how a normal expiration happens. Is this clear? Now let's look at the diagram. See, look here, air is entering into the lungs. How the air entered into the lungs, ma'am? Very simple. We manipulated our IPP, right? Atmosphere was 760 mmHg. I couldn't change that, but I changed the IPP to 758. So air will automatically move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Now air entering into the lungs. Okay, ma'am, understood. Air went inside. Now what has happened? Can you see rib and sternum got raised from the sides? Okay. At the same time, volume of thorax has increased. So whenever pressure drop happens, volume will automatically increase because they are inversely proportional. And here you can see the diaphragm contracted. So always you will remember that, ma'am, contraction means going up. No. When contraction happens, the diaphragm flattens downwards. It moves a little more downwards. That time this space will keep increasing. Okay, space will keep increasing, and that will lead to an increase in the total thoracic chamber. This is how naturally normal inspiration happens. I hope it's clear. Okay, this is how normal inspiration is happening. Yes. Okay. So this is what you have to remember. Now look here, you can automatically see that atmospheric pressure is around 159. Okay, oxygen is 159. That is partial pressure here they're talking about. Okay, not this pressure which I told you, partial pressure. So from the atmosphere, it will automatically move to the alveolar because the alveolar pressure is only 104. From the alveolar, it will automatically move to the deoxygenated blood. Right? From deoxygenated blood, see, it will go to the, that is this two will add together, sum up together, not add exactly, not like 104 plus 40, but alveolar will keep giving oxygen to the deoxygenated blood and make that blood oxygenated, and it make it around 95. From 95, the oxygen is going to go to the tissues. Now these tissues are going to use this oxygen for cellular respiration. Okay, same thing will continue when I have to throw carbon dioxide. Tissues will be having the maximum carbon dioxide after all the utilization. From 45 it will become 40, 42. Deoxygenated blood already has a lot of carbon dioxide, right? So this will not happen. This way it will happen. Okay, that is, the deoxygenated blood will already have a lot of oxygen in, carbon dioxide in them, so it is already negative. But from there it will go to the alveoli. From alveoli it will go to the atmosphere. This is how expiration happens. So this is how inspiration happens. Okay, inspiration happens, and this is how expiration happens. This is how expiration happens. Got it? So very simple. Here we are talking about the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, that is how much pressure these gases individually have among a group of gases. Okay, imagine students, you're in a class with group of students. Okay, some group of students you have. In that, how do you perform individually, right? Same way is the partial pressure. Partial pressure of oxygen means compared to all the gases in that, how much pressure is exerted by that oxygen. So you can see the atmosphere is around 159. Why? Because I need to do inspiration. I need to move it from the atmosphere to the alveoli. Okay, I hope this was clear. Moving on to the next question. How is inspiration regulated? That means who is the ones who are regulating the inspiration? See, a specialized center present in the medulla. Students, this is the reason why we tell do not hit in the medulla. Sometimes when we play games, sometimes by mistake, what will happen? We'll happen to hit the person here. When you hit there, remember that the person might immediately stop breathing because the center for breathing, the main center who controls breathing, is present in the medulla region. So a specialized center present in the medulla region of the brain, called as respiratory rhythm center, is primarily responsible for this regulation. Okay, RRC. Now to support RRC, some other people are present in the pons as well. That is, another center present in the pons region of the brain is called as pneumotactic center. Pneumotactic center, which can moderate the function of respiratory rhythm center. That is, it can help, it will act like a moderator. Okay, so first you have RRC, that is respiratory rhythm center. To moderate this fellow, we have pneumotactic center, which will act as a moderator. Okay, which will act as a moderator. And then here, same thing I've written here. Here, a chemosensitive area is situated adjacent to the rhythm center, which is highly sensitive to carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions. So students, automatically they will get to know, wait a minute. See students, always remember this. If I want to take in, that if I want to breathe in, I am not going to breathe in because there's a lack of oxygen. I am going to breathe in because there is a more number of carbon dioxide. Okay, hemoglobin has tendency to go and combine with carbon dioxide more than oxygen. Okay, more than oxygen. See, oxygen, more carbon dioxide affinity, more carbon monoxide. Hemoglobin's affinity with carbon monoxide is more, okay, around 250 times more than oxygen. 250 times more than oxygen. So when the carbon dioxide concentration is more I will automatically understand that it is time to take in some oxygen. So a chemosensitive area is situated adjacent to the rhythm center, which is highly sensitive to carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions. Always remember carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and temperature. These three are like three idiots. Okay, they are like three idiots. If carbon dioxide increases, automatically H plus will increase, automatically temperature also will increase. Okay, now receptors are associated with aortic arch and carotid artery also can recognize the changes in the carbon dioxide and H plus concentration and send sensory signal to rhythm center for remedial action. So not only this chemosensitive area, there is also the receptors present on the aortic arch and carotid artery as well, which are connected to the heart. These people also will send signal telling that wait a minute, there is actually more carbon dioxide and H plus ion, and it is time for you to bring in more oxygen. Okay, bring in more oxygen. Clear? Chalo. Okay, bring in more oxygen. So these center students, RBC, okay, RRC, that is respiratory rhythm center, pneumotactic center, chemosensitive areas. Okay, chemosensitive areas present near the rhythm center. Okay, these people are going to help, plus receptors on, okay, receptors on carotid arch, okay, carotid artery and aortic arch. Aortic. Okay, done. These are the 4 people who are going to regulate. Now, what is the effect of partial pressure of carbon dioxide on oxygen transport? Okay, they're asking what is the effect of partial pressure of carbon dioxide on your oxygen transport. Got it? Now, how will they affect, ma'am? Will they actually affect? Yes, they definitely affect, students. That is, partial pressure of carbon dioxide plays an important role in transportation of oxygen in the blood. That is, at the alveolus, low pressure of carbon dioxide and high pressure of oxygen favors the formation of hemoglobin, which carries oxygen in the blood as hemoglobin. That is, imagine, let's say, hemoglobin likes carbon dioxide and it does not like oxygen that much. Carbon dioxide is more and oxygen is less. Obviously, hemoglobin will go and bind with carbon dioxide because carbon dioxide is more and he likes carbon dioxide more. But imagine a situation where we have to make sure that hemoglobin goes and binds with oxygen and carbon dioxide. That time we have to make sure that carbon dioxide is less, so the hemoglobin cannot even find, and oxygen is more. So in the alveoli, we have to make sure that there is a situation where the carbon dioxide is completely low, okay, and oxygen is high. Then only HBO complex will happen. HbO2 complex will happen. That is oxyhemoglobin combination will only happen if oxygen is more. So at the alveolus, we have to make sure that there is low partial pressure of carbon dioxide. At the tissue, what happens, students? In tissue, we need to do dissociation. That means we have to throw out the carbon dioxide. That time we need high partial pressure of carbon dioxide and low partial pressure of oxygen. Favors the dissociation of oxygen from oxyhemoglobin, which releases oxygen at the tissue level. That is, if dissociation doesn't happen, that is simple thing, students. Let's say I am bringing something. I'm bringing something for delivery. I'm like there's an Amazon guy. Imagine Amazon delivery is happening. As soon as he come near my home, he'll check the address. Okay, imagine he comes near my home and then he'll check the address and he'll deliver one thing, right? For him to deliver that thing, he has to check the address. He has to make sure that all the items are there. Same way, here also what is going to happen, if I want to release oxygen to the tissues, okay, if I want to release oxygen to the tissues, that means my oxygen content should be low. Hemoglobin, oxygen, love shouldn't be more. If their love is more, then they're not going to leave each other, right? That time love should be less. That is when we show carbon dioxide. So here what is going to happen, for dissociation to happen, oxygen should be less, carbon dioxide should be more. Okay, dissociation means breaking down. That is, I have to make this HbO2 to Hb plus O2. For that, I need to make sure that the partial pressure of oxygen is less and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is extremely high. Got it? This is the answer. Okay, done. Next, what happens to the respiratory process in a man who is going uphill? what happens to the entire respiratory process if a man is going uphill. Okay, now what is going to happen, students? Here, I think I'll write it here. If he is going uphill, okay, if he is going uphill, we all know that the oxygen, right, the oxygen is going to keep decreasing. Oxygen, I think when I am going uphill, my handwriting also is going uphill. Okay, 1 second. So far good? Yes or no? So far good? Okay, fine. Okay, so here what is going to happen, students? This is the uphill. Okay, he is going uphill. Obviously, partial pressure of oxygen is going to decrease as we go up the altitudes, and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is going to increase, or carbon dioxide is going to be more. Even sometimes carbon monoxide also is going to be there. So hemoglobin will have more tendency to bind with oxygen, carbon dioxide more than oxygen. This will cause difficulty in breathing. Yes or no? This will cause difficulty in breathing. So when a person is going uphill, yes, okay, so what is going to happen? The person, the binding capacity of hemoglobin with carbon dioxide is going to be more, because automatically oxygen is decreasing, and that is the reason why the blood vessels, break from the nose and bleeding will happen. Yes, that is mainly because of the pressure difference. And you should also understand that the atmospheric pressure also decreases, right? Atmospheric pressure decreases. Atmospheric pressure decreases, and in case IPP is more that time, right, IPP is more that time, air will rush outside. Okay, rush outside, and because of it we will run out of oxygen, and that time it will bind. Hemoglobin has to bind with someone. Hemoglobin will bind with carbon dioxide. Okay, hemoglobin will bind with carbon dioxide. Okay, I'm talking about nose, so nose is irritating. Okay, so hemoglobin will bind with carbon dioxide, and this will cause lack of entire cellular respiration happening. Okay, that is, the cells will not get enough oxygen to do this. Okay, chal. Okay, that's a very simple basic question. Now, what is the site of gaseous exchange in an insect? That is, who does the gaseous exchange in insect? Students, gaseous exchange in insect is done by the tracheal system. Okay, tracheal system. Now this body, okay, if you look here, you can see the tracheal system. This tracheal system also has small tiny pores at the corner of everything. Okay, small tiny pores at the corner of everything, which is called as spiracles. What is it called as? Spiracles. They are small openings. Okay, small openings that help for exchange of gases. Okay, that help for exchange of gases. That is little more, but it's not very primitive also. No, it has upgraded a little, that they have tracheal system, but this tracheal system has small tiny pores in both the sides, that is called as spiracles, which help them for exchange of gases. That small pore opening is there. Okay, very direct question. Tracheal system is the answer. Now next one. Okay, I've written there. Now define oxygen dissociation curve, and can you suggest any reason for its sigmoid pattern? Now students, this is one of the most important topic of your entire breathing and exchange. Why? I'll tell you. Okay, this graph, oxygen dissociation graph, does not actually run on oxygen alone. It actually runs on your carbon dioxide. That is, carbon dioxide pressure will decide this graph. Very simple, students. Look here. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more. Automatically H plus also will be more. I told you, they are like those three idiots. One fellow does it, even they will go and jump. He jumps into the well, even this fellow will go and jump into the well. So partial pressure of carbon dioxide is very high. Automatically H plus also will be high. Same way, temperature also is going to be high. In these situations, oxygen will not be able to survive. So oxygen will shift towards the right. In the graph, it will shift towards the right. Okay. That is just basically, imagine like this. Imagine 3 people are there who are against you, and those 3 people are like very strong. They are like shouting, and they're continuously increasing their attitude. Obviously, you will make a right decision of leaving that place. No, so oxygen will shift towards the right shift. Okay, this will be called as the right shift. Now, at the same case scenario, imagine, see, first of all, always remember hemoglobin does not like oxygen much. So, if oxygen becomes less, that also gives hemoglobin a chance to not like it more. Okay, it's a very unromantic story. That is, if hemoglobin does not see oxygen for a longer time, no, hemoglobin will forget oxygen, go and bind with carbon dioxide. Same way, affinity is more, liking is more to bind with carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So, here, if partial pressure of carbon dioxide is less, that is a chance for oxygen to be more. If carbon dioxide is less, obviously the two idiots also will be less, that is temperature, and the H plus also will be less. This will lead to the oxygen left shift. Okay, this will lead oxygen to shift towards the left. Got it? This, it will move to the hemoglobin. It will go and bind with the hemoglobin. Now let's just look at the graph. Look at the graph. See, left shift and right shift. Students, understand this is oxygen hemoglobin saturation. Remember this always. Always remember that since hemoglobin does not like oxygen completely, first one oxygen will come and sit. Okay, think of hemoglobin like a bus where has 4 seats, or a car which has 4 seats. Okay, hemoglobin, first oxygen will come and sit. That means the saturation will be around 25%. 25%. Okay, after this hemoglobin sits and talks to the oxygen, he'll be like, okay, you're not that bad actually, you're fine, you're nice. Then next oxygen will come and sit. Okay, then next oxygen will come and sit. When next oxygen comes and sit, it is going to be around 50%. Okay, saturation. Next oxygen comes and sits, it's going to be 75% saturation, and next oxygen comes and sits, it is going to be 100%. That is, to reach up to 100%, we need one hemoglobin. Okay, one hemoglobin needs 4 oxygen groups. 4 oxygen group to reach 100% saturation. So the saturation is written in this side. Okay, this side you can see up to 100%, and your partial pressure of oxygen is written. If partial pressure is not high, then the saturation will be not reached. Okay, saturation will not be reached easily. So here, if you see, students, the graph is going in a S-shaped curve, and the oxygen curve will shift towards the left. When there is decreased temperature, decreased dpH, decreased H plus, and decreased carbon dioxide. That is, binding of hemoglobin with oxygen chances are more. Okay, chances are more. Then right shift is when everything is more, that is increased carbon dioxide, increased temperature, increased affinity. That time oxygen will make the right decision of shifting to the right. Okay, shifting to the right. Got it, all of you? This is there in your NCERT as well. Okay, NCERT as well. I think I cannot download it here and show. I cannot download it here, is what I believe. Okay, now the second part of the question is, why is it a sigmoid curve, ma'am? Why is it not a straight line or anything like that? It is simple, students. Oxygen has the most beautiful nature that is called as oxygen cooperativity. What is it? Oxygen, if I write it here, it's visible, no? Yes, it's visible. Oxygen cooperativity. Imagine you get a job. Will you give the same job? Will you give the your friend also the same job in the same company or a higher position than you? You will not do, no? We humans don't have this cooperativity, but oxygen has. What is this cooperativity is? I will first go and sit with hemoglobin. I will talk to hemoglobin. I'll make hemoglobin like us, have that affinity. Then it will allow the next person. So every oxygen actually gives space for the next oxygen to come and bind with hemoglobin, since hemoglobin has less affinity to oxygen. Because of this oxygen cooperativity is why the line is a sigmoid curve. I hope this is clear. Okay, because we are trying to plot saturation against partial pressure. Saturation against partial pressure of oxygen. Yes or no? So if saturation is 100%, the partial pressure also has to be high enough. Okay, now it has reached the saturation. If saturation is less, okay, partial pressure is also will be less. Why? Because if this is less, that means this fellow has less chance to go and bind. Carbon dioxide is more and oxygen is less. This fellow will have less chance to go and bind. Is this clear? Okay, that is the first oxygen binds with hemoglobin, then allows the next oxygen to bind, that will allow the next oxygen. So it is proper oxygen cooperativity, that is all the 4 places in the hemoglobin will be taken up by oxygen depending on how each one of them go and bind. They do not come and bind at one shot. Now imagine the doors are open for the class, we'll all run inside together, no, that is different. Imagine with roll calls, they call you roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3 come in, that is cooperativity, that is not cooperativity, but at least one by one filling is happening. Same thing will happen here. One oxygen gets in, only 25% saturation will happen. Second oxygen gets in, 50% saturation will happen. Third oxygen gets in, 75% saturation will happen, and fourth oxygen get in, 100% saturation will happen. Clear or not? Okay, clear or not? Chalo. Yes, chalo. Okay, next question. Have you heard about hypoxemia? Try to gather information about it and discuss with your friends. Okay, so this is a homework kind of a question for all of you. Yes or no? This is more like a homework for you. Will you all do it? No, ma'am, we cannot do it. What are you asking us to do? Yes or no? This you have to do it with your friends. Like, it's just that you collect the information or you talk to your friends about it, something like that. Okay, something like that. I'll just give you a very basic idea about it. Okay, so it is simple, students. When your blood vessels, right, see, always remember, your blood vessels are transporters. At the same time, they have a job of reaching ample amount of oxygen to all the tissues, because all the tissues will be waiting, like it's like how we get food, no, we'll be waiting for lunch break, tea break and all that. We'll be waiting when we'll get food because your energy is drained. Like that, these people also will be waiting. But whenever, okay, yeah, whenever, can you see it? Yeah, blood vessel, okay, whenever blood vessel have insufficient oxygen, that is when this condition will be formed. Got it? Okay, so whenever the blood vessel has insufficient oxygen, to do homeostasis, okay, to do homeostasis, that is to maintain our body's condition, this condition called as hypoxia will happen. This could be because of multiple issues. Okay, the shifting of the curve, okay, shifting of the curve could happen. Okay, right to left shunting will happen, that is the shifting will not happen properly, that is carbon dioxide could be more, or it could be because of hyperventilation, or it could be because of poor blood circulation. Okay, blood, like proper circulation is not there, or it could be low partial pressure in the aerial blood. Okay, low partial pressure, many reasons can be had that low partial pressure can happen. Yes, are you all with me? Chalo, okay, very good. Poor blood circulation, it can also, students, it can also be carbon monoxide, carbon monoxide, I've already written here. Okay, carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, so when we see no poisoning of cyanide, when a person gives cyanide, what exactly happens is hemoglobin will go and combine with carbon monoxide. Okay, and it will form carboxyhemoglobin. This carboxyhemoglobin will go into the tissues and lead to bleeding as well. Okay, the tissues functioning will stop because it needs oxygen, it does not need carbon monoxide. Got it? That could be the problem. Yes or no? Okay, students, even if we have any respiratory disorder, like we have asthma, wheezing at a very extreme rate, that time also this condition can come because enough oxygen is not getting in and there is a lack in the blood vessels. Is this clear, all of you? Yes? Okay. Next question. Distinguish between IRV and ERV, inspiratory capacity and expiratory capacity, vital capacity and total lung capacity. Okay, it's a big, what is that, like maths of following this. So, here first one is IRV and ERV. So, IRV full form stands for inspiratory reserve volume, okay, and expiratory reserve volume. First you write the full form, okay, first you write the full form of it, Then you go one by one. Now students, what is this inspiratory reserve volume? That is additional volume of air that I can take in after a forcible inspiration. Okay, additional volume of air a person can take in after a forcible inspiration. This is your inspiratory reserve volume. Same thing goes for expiratory reserve volume. That is additional volume of air a person can expire after a forcible expiration. Okay, after a forcible expiration will be your inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume. Now, second, so first you write about the filling, that is what is full form of IRV, what is full form of ERV. Next one you tell with the definition of it. Third point that you can tell, okay, first point, second point with this arrow mark, I don't know how many of you will understand, so I'll try to write it. One second. Additional volume of air, okay, a person can inspire, okay, after forcible inspiration. Like I do. After that also, how much air can I take in? Okay, how much air can I take in? After forcible inspiration, how much air can I take in still? That is the first one. This one is the same. Additional volume of air a person can expire. Okay, a person can expire after forcible expiration. So my first action was this. Okay, forcible expiration. Inspiration, expiration. Now, ma'am, what can be the third difference, right? Your question can come. Third difference can be how much ml. This is 2500 to 3000 ml. This is less, students, 1000 to 1100 ml. Okay, this is the major three difference between them. Now, inspiratory capacity and expiratory capacity. As I told you, capacities are additions of something. Okay, so inspiratory capacity and expiratory capacity, if I have to tell, inspiratory capacity is the total volume of air that can inspire after the normal expiration. That is, okay, how much air I can take in. Okay, that will be your IC. Clear? Okay, that will be your IC, and TC will be what? TC will be a total volume of air a person can expire after a normal inspiration. Okay, expire after normal inspiration, inspire after a normal expiration. Now here IC is going to be one second. 1 minute, students, 1 minute. Okay, it will be tidal volume plus IRV. Okay, that is around 500 plus 2500 or 3000. Okay, this will be around 3000 liters, and EC is going to be TV plus ERV, that is going to be 500 plus 1000 or 1100, so 1500 liters. Okay, so this is one differentiation that you can write, the formula itself. So capacities, always remember, they are additions of something. Okay, capacities are always additions of something. Clear? I hope it's clear. Okay, now next question is vital capacity and total lung capacity, right? Vital capacity was one of the first questions that we did. That is how much air, okay, how much air, yes, the maximum volume of air a person can breathe in after a forced expiration. Like I'm doing this, and after that, how much air can I take in will become my vital capacity. Okay, total volume of air I can breathe in. Okay, I can breathe in after normal expiration. Okay, this, as I told you, these are capacities, so you have to only do the addition. Okay, you have to only do the addition. I hope this is clear. If you don't do the addition, then you're not going to get the answer as well. This again will come from 3500, right, to around 4000, because it is ERV plus TV plus IRV. Okay, this is how you calculate it. ERV plus TV plus IRV. Got it, all of you? Yes or no? Inspiratory capacity done. Total vital capacity also done. So here, students, ERV is around 1100. Okay, TV is around, here it should go around 4000 to 4800. That much it will go. 3000 is too less, no? 4000 to 4800. Let's do the maths. 1 second. Plus 500 plus 2500. This I'm taking minimum. Okay, so it came around 1600 plus 2500. How much, students? Okay, 2500. Alright, 001141. So 4100. That's why I told you it will go up to from 4000 to 4100, or up to 800 also will come, because if I take this 3000, then 500 more will happen, right? Up to 4600 it can go. So that is vital capacity. Okay, next is total lung capacity. Total lung capacity, it means what? Total air that can be accommodated in my lungs. Total air that can be accommodated in my lungs. Okay, that is TC, total lung. TLC, total lung. Let's calculate this total lung capacity. Now total lung capacity, whom and all you have to include? You have to include RV, you have to include ERV, you have to include tidal volume, you have to include IRV. Yes, or you simply do vital capacity plus residual volume. Okay, because this three we already calculated. So this will be how much, students? 1200 plus 1100 plus, okay, 500 plus 2500. That is around 4100 plus 1200. That can go up to 5300. So again, this is the range. Okay, this is the range. This is the formula. So this formula, if you write, and if you write what is the definition of it, then you are sorted. You do not have to learn multiple points for this. You just have to learn these. Okay, you just have to learn these. Got it? Very simple calculation, I believe. Okay, 5300 liters. That is TLC, total lung capacity. How much air can I accommodate in my lungs? Okay, vital capacity is total volume of air that I can breathe in after the normal expiration. Okay, clear? So this also I wrote it here. This I'm writing it here. Now, what is tidal volume? Find out the tidal volume approximate value for a healthy human in an hour. Okay, in an hour. So look here, students, tidal volume is the amount of air a person inhales or exhales during normal breathing. For a healthy person, tidal volume is around 6000 to 8000 milliliters, okay, per minute. So tidal volume is, students, normally. Now I'm breathing, no? Are you able to listen to it that I'm breathing heavily or nothing? Nothing. Normally I'm breathing. Normally air is going in. Normally air is getting exhaled out. Normal breathing is happening. That is called as the tidal volume. Tidal volume can go up from 6000 to 8000 milliliters of air per minute. Okay. If liters calculation, if you have, how much it will be? You can check your textbook and tell me. Yes. Check. Okay. So it is approximately 500 milliliters. Okay, that is in a healthy man. He can approximately expire 6000 to 8000 per. So now they are asking for per hour, right? So you can do just 6000 into 60. That will give you around 36,000. Okay, same thing you can do for 8000 into 60. Okay, this is how much it will happen. Okay, around 48,000, right? So around 36,000 to 48,000 milliliter per hour. Yes, clear? Okay, so 36,000 to 48,000 milliliter per hour. Done or not done? Yes, okay. So this is how much you'll get in per hour. This is 6,000 to 8,000 milliliter of air per minute. Okay, per minute. That's it. We are done. There were around 14 questions. Okay, so students, I hope these questions were very, very clear to all of you. This was the questions of breathing and exchange. Definitely, I'll be coming up with another chapter, that is your body fluid and circulation, very soon as well. So those who are finding this sessions very helpful, do let me know in the comments how the session was. And thank you so much for joining. I really enjoyed the session teaching you all. So I hope all of you also enjoy the session. So see you all in the next class. Do not forget to smash the like button, and also let me know in the comments how you like the session, and share it with all your college friends who are struggling to study biology or struggling to solve NCERT solutions. And students, always remember, your teachers from college will always pick NCERT solution, NCERT exercise question maximum, because it's easier and they find it easier to, because relatable questions come and big paragraph questions come. So that way they'll be able to easily pick this question. So here in this chapter, please focus on oxygen dissociation curve, bicarbonate formation, as well as your TD, all the volumes. Okay, volumes and capacities you have to by heart it. The definitions you have to by heart it. Otherwise, it's going to be little difficult. Okay, so thank you so much, students. See you all in the next class. Tata, bye bye.